So imagine that you see an actual angel with your own two eyes. And imagine that angel is able to actually communicate with you and predict future events that turn out to be completely accurate. That is the real life experience of my guest today, Joanne Macko. Um, Joanne, thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So excited to hear about, you actually have a couple of different angel encounters, and we're going to cover all of that today. But I'd just like to open the floor for you to share about your first angel encounter.
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me. This is quite an honor. The angels are all around us today. They're excited about this show. My first encounter was pretty amazing. I was living in Connecticut at the time, going through, I was actually very well known up and down the whole New England coast for a totally different type of painting. I created scenes of 1700s historic landmarks, women with long dresses, horse-drawn buggies, and I was busy filling an order for a shop that I had been dealing with for a long time. And I heard a voice saying, "The order you are working on is not important." And I'm like, God, you need sleep, Joanne. You're just working way too many hours. And then the phone rings and it's the shop owner. And she says, "Joanne, I have to cancel this order. We just lost our lease." So there was number one that was spot on. And then this voice comes and said, "You are to go outside, take your canvas and your paintbrushes and your paint." And we lived next to 60 acres of woods, nobody around us. It was total rural. And they said, "You are to paint an angel." And I'm like, "What?" And I'm arguing with the air. I'm like, "What do you mean paint an angel? I'm like known for this historic landmark. What are you talking about? Who is this?" And they said, "Put your brushes down. You were to paint these with your bare hands." Well, that really freaked me out. Except that I can't tell anybody this. My husband will divorce me. It's like, so I did. And I got these huge hands. I'm like, how am I supposed to put detail? And I don't know how to paint an angel if you paid me $1 million. But what came out in the course of a morning was the most magnificent being that I've ever seen on canvas. And when I walked from left to right, her hair color went from orange to red to dark. It was shifting right in front of me. The second painting was Nature Angel. And every time they would send me outside to paint an angel would come with the painting and give me a lesson about that particular image. The third one was World Peace Angel. Now, this is where it gets interesting, Jim. So I put all my money into making lithographs of this World Peace Angel. I was guided every which way you can imagine, where to go to find the printer, who to find the manager for that would be the best one to be in charge of that. I put all my savings into printing that lithograph. And my husband's like, he's the engineer, by the way. "Okay, if you're going to see angels in the clouds, okay, but don't ask me for any money for this. This you're on your own with this."
Mm-hmm.
And he went to work. The kids got on the school bus. They were little at the time. And I'm sitting there on the floor in my living room in Connecticut, bawling my eyes out. I'm like, "God, I did what you wanted me to do. I put all my money into printing these lithographs, and now I'm broke. And you want me to get this out to the world. How am I supposed to do this?" I'm like, "You've got to send me an angel." Well, I'm sitting there on the floor, my back against this wingback chair, and what started appearing in front of me was this ethereal image. And it was like white and it was like wavy and it started getting more detailed. I could see the rope waistline. There was like a rope sash around the waist. I could see what appeared to be like, it was just undulating light. But the most incredible thing, Jen, it was holding a ball of light. And it was like as if it was handing it to me. And as I watched this, totally mesmerized, the ball kept getting brighter and whiter, and the white, the energy of that ball was slowly climbing up the arms of this being that I perceived as an angel. And what it said to me, they talk to you telepathically, but you hear it crystal clear, and it said, "Child, why are you crying? We were always here for you. We were always here for you." And I was like, dreaming this? I mean, I could see it perfectly. And all of a sudden, people always ask, "Well, were you scared?" No, I was in total awe. It's like I don't even know how to explain that. I wasn't afraid. I was just in like, when you're looking at something, like, am I really seeing this? But the peace that it brought over me was so amazing. Well, what happened after it dissipated, the phone rang, and it was one of the big magazines that I called to get this picture into a national magazine, because that's where my human brain went. Call like call Good Housekeeping. call I don't know, think of the big ones.
Mhm.
And finally there was this. It was the head editor of a big magazine that I had called to see if I could get the artwork in there. And he said, Joanne, this rarely happens, but we have an opening last minute for our biggest Christmas issue, the inside cover, which is the most coveted space in a magazine, if you know anything about marketing and magazines and printing. And I think it was Early American Life magazine. Now, originally, when I started calling Good Housekeeping, Jen, what do you think one time, 1 month, full color would cost? It's like $152,000. It's like
Wow.
unbelievable. And I'm like, remember, I'm broke now. I have zero left. And he said, Joanne, look, I'll tell you what, we need to get this to bed. We need this to that means go to print. And he goes, look, just send the artwork. And, he says, we'll just give it to you for like $1,800, but don't even worry about that now. Just send the artwork. So for no money down, not zero, not one penny, World Peace Angel got into a major magazine, their biggest Christmas issue, went all over the United States. That just doesn't happen. That does
Right.
not happen. And the stories that came from that, there are miraculous stories. So that first angel encounter was so powerful. But it told me that, look, if you go down this road and you do these angels, there are going to be miracles that will happen. And fast forward, I'm standing at the United Nations. Okay. And there's so many stories in between that. I tried calling the gift shop at the UN first. That's where my human brain went. Like, okay, maybe they could sell it in the gift shop. They hung up on me. They said, oh, no, no, you'll offend many. It's a religious item. And he hung up on me.
Mhm.
But that voice came back and said, you get right back on that phone to the UN. Don't you dare take no for an answer.
Mhm.
And it led me to a girl named Rosemary. I said, okay, look, you're going to think I'm crazy, but I know this picture needs to be at the UN. And I sent it off to her. She goes, look, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I sent it off to her. I told my angels, okay, angels, I'm putting you in charge of each corner. Make sure this gets to the UN unharmed, unbroken, unscratched.
Yeah.
And then I was asked, they were going to put on a special event at the UN to honor the former president of Costa Rica, Rodrigo Carazo, for his world peace efforts. And they said, the president of the World Citizens Diplomats called me and she said, Joanne, do anything like big? We need something big as a backdrop. And I said, you're not going to believe this, but I just finished an 8-foot high painting of an angel, 4 feet across. She goes, oh my God, you have to bring that and bring your world peace angel. We're going to present that to this president. It's like, wow. And they asked me if I wanted to come down for a photo shoot before all this event. I turned them down because I was so afraid of driving on a freeway because I was almost killed on a freeway. And when I told that to my best friend, she goes, are you out of your mind? She goes, I'll get that painting in your van and I will drive. We were going to the UN, come hell or high water. And I never even thought about it, Jen, but when I took the seats out of my van, they told me to make this exactly 8 feet high by 4 feet, not a centimeter beyond. And when I took the seats out of my van, it fit perfectly. But
Wow.
the funny thing is, imagine me and my friend carrying this gigantic painting down in the busy city of like Manhattan. But we got it into the UN. Everything was great. And I was actually asked to speak. I was in the audience thinking, all right, I did my part. I was going to say here. And the World Citizen Diplomat said, come here, you're going to go up there and you're going to tell your story. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm going to tell me? This is the United Nations. She came over to me. She nudged me in my rib. She says, you're next to speak and wake them up. I'm like, oh my God. So I get up behind the mic. I took the microphone out. I started doing an Oprah Winfrey show. Like, I just start walking around. Who here believes in angels? And everybody just like perks up because
Wow.
that is like not happening at the UN, right? And when I was done, This monk stood up and he started leaving his, he was like getting through the seats to get to the main aisle, which was right in line with me. And I'm thinking, oh my God, did I offend this man? He's leaving. He
Yeah.
stood there and he bowed to me.
Wow.
And I'm like, who is this man? Turns out it was Lama Gangshen. He was, he created the first spiritual um, place that you could meditate at the UN. He's
Oh,
royalty, a
interesting.
doctor, spiritual doctor to all kings and queens in India. Oh my gosh. His bio is 10 pages long, but he grabbed my hands and when he bowed to me, he said, we must find the common thread. Everyone is a thread. You're a thread, Jen. I'm a thread.
Mm.
This, and we're all different colors, right? We're all different sizes, all different shapes. But he says, when we weave those threads together,
Mm.
we form a blanket of love. Oh my God. This is
Wow.
like, is anybody recording this? It's just stuck. It just was cemented in my mind. I've
Yeah.
just found out he died during COVID, but look him up. He is a power, gentle soul you can imagine. And Rodrigo Carrazzo, to me, was such a light worker. When he walked in the room, there was light beaming off of him. He
Oh,
donated a lot of his personal property to build a World Peace Museum. So anyway, that is, and there's so many stories in between there, but
yeah.
that's how powerful that first angel visit was.
Wow.
Now imagine if I would have said, no, I'm not going down there. I don't want to drive on a freeway,
Yeah.
which I'm a, PTSD is real, by the way.
Yeah. Yep.
It is real. To this day, I do not want to go on a freeway.
Right.
So, but look what came of that. They did stories, angels at the UN. Stories just went all over the place after that. It was pretty amazing.
Wow.
So,
So that's
I
incredible. I have so many questions.
know we need a 20-hour show. There's so many stories.
I guess the first question I would have is, have you felt the presence of angels all of your life, even as a child, or was that first encounter with the artwork the first time?
Well, this is interesting because at 5 years old, right before I went to kindergarten, I told my mom, I said, Mom, I'm going to be a famous artist or a doctor. I knew my role. And so thank God I had a mother that was phenomenal mother. And she would buy me all the Learn to Draw art sets and the
Yeah.
doctor kits. Well, I did go to med school, but I fainted in the morgue. And I knew right then, I said, you know what? This is not for me. Give me my paintbrushes. Here, take my scalpel. I'll take my paintbrushes. And my dad would say, oh my God, you don't want to be an artist. You'll starve. The old starving artist theory. Well, again, people, that's a belief. Where did he
Yeah.
get that belief?
Right.
So you have to trust when you know that you know that you know, and don't let anybody sway you. I knew at 5 years old, this is what I came in the world to do. 5. That's like bananas just thinking about that.
So the first time that you heard that voice, you mentioned telepathy. So, because I've had some people tell their stories and it actually sounds like another human speaking to them and they hear
Right.
it.
Yes.
But was that what it was for you when you
It
first
sounds
heard
like a
that voice?
human.
Yeah,
Obviously, it's
yeah,
crystal clear, like you could hear it, but it's not like an outside voice. It's as if, how do you explain that? Unless you haven't been, if you've been through it, it's like telepathic.
yeah,
You hear the message, like when they told me it was time to go outside and paint an angel, that was so clear it was ridiculous. But it's not like I heard a physical voice. It's
yeah,
like someone was talking to you, like on a telephone inside your
yeah.
head, I guess.
Okay.
But it's crystal clear. And again, you question yourself. Who wouldn't?
Right.
I didn't tell my husband for a long time. I couldn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
The only one I shared it to was my best friend Arlene, who owned the angel shop. And but like I mentioned before, the clincher for me is when they told me this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen in this order. If you decide
Okay.
to go down this road, like you'll
Yeah.
be rewarded, and then it starts happening. It's like, how do you explain that? So call me crazy. I don't care what you call me anymore because let me tell you, I've had every stone in the world thrown at me um, for this. People don't believe in it. I've been accused of channeling the devil. I'm like, hello, people. If this was the devil, I don't think he'd be talking about world peace and love.
Right. Right.
Just saying. Just
Yeah.
say. Just saying. So again, you've got to stick with your convictions. I just know I'm protected. The work is not easy, Jen. You know this.
Right.
You know it's not fun to be thrown stones at and to be judged.
Yeah. Yeah.
I I told God, I said, "You've got my word from this day forward. I'm never going to leave this work unless you take me out.
Hmm.
So I'm here to do this work." And that's my passion.
Yeah.
I'm here to awaken people to their magnificence. I'm not here to judge you.
Yeah.
My religion is love.
Beautiful.
So,
Well, could you talk about that in a little more detail, where you started in terms of your religion, maybe as a child and a young adult, versus
okay.
where you are now after having these
Well,
angels?
I was raised as a Roman Catholic. My mom
Yeah,
made me do
same.
all of our um, sacraments.
Yeah.
She always told me, Joanne, nobody will marry you if you don't have all your sacraments.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And then I had to walk a long distance to this Catholic church because I was in public school at the time. But when the nuns would say, you know, God is in everything, but he's not in you. You come in here with original sin. And I'm like, but I was the one that was like, but sister, wait, how could God be in everything and not in me? That doesn't make sense.
Right.
And she would take the ruler and start hitting me. She says, you are not to question the word of God. And I'm like, wait a minute, Jesus wouldn't operate this way.
Yeah.
Jesus was all about love, and his messages were so clear and beautiful, like do as to others as you wish to be treated.
Right. Yeah.
When I was raised, you did not question anybody. You didn't question doctors. You didn't question teachers. You didn't question priests or sisters. And I was like, nope, that's not the way Joanne works.
Yeah.
So I questioned everything. And then I started doing research. And then I realized, oh my gosh, this is all based on man's, rules.
And I
So,
think to a large extent to keep people in fear so that they
yeah,
won't question things. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But even the word sin, do you know what the real meaning of that is? If you do the research, it is an archer's term, and bow and arrow, archer's
Oh,
term.
yeah. I think
It
I have heard that.
simply
Miss the
means
mark.
you missed the mark you were aiming for. Look how that
Right.
got convoluted and twisted down the
Yeah.
road, like
Right.
telephone, you know?
Yeah.
Like, how sad is that? What I was shown is heaven is a state of mind,
Yeah.
okay? It's not this, you go up this elevator, to the seventh floor and there's your loved ones will be waiting for you. But, they do, but you have to remember do not grieve for your loved ones that have crossed over. They're simply in a higher vibratorial state. That's it. They are vibrating at a higher plane than you are. So it takes a lot for them to come down here, lower their frequency for them to show themselves to you. And
Yeah.
you have to raise your frequency. You got to meet them somewhere in the middle. But both my parents died, and they come to me.
Yeah.
Um, I've called many a board meeting. I ran big conferences, spiritual conferences for 25 years.
Right.
And I would always call on them, and they always told me, we're going to be with you at every event. Every speech you ever make, we will be around you. And I feel them. But yeah, I was raised Catholic, but I always knew that there was an unseen force. Call it what you will. I mean, everybody has a different term for it.
Yeah.
Allah, God,
Yeah.
but angels, if you read the books, those go way back, as far back as every religion had them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they're not to be worshipped.
Mm-hmm.
They're messengers for God. And do you have a direct telephone line to God, Creator? Of course you do. But a lot of these angels, I see them as helpers. And then you always have one that stays with you all the time. Um, but I could tell you so many stories about just hospice workers, because hospice workers who actually see the light leaving someone, and they see the angels, or they interview people that were on their deathbed where they actually saw angels come to them in the room, and all their loved ones that died before them, around their bed, there to welcome them. That's why so many people will see someone on their deathbed reaching up. They're reaching up. That's what they're doing. They're reaching to God. They're reaching to a relative that's helping
Yes.
them cross over. So
Yeah.
don't grieve for them, people.
Yeah.
They're in such a better place than you are here. They're in their real home. They're running free of disease, no
Yeah.
cancer. Your
Yeah.
pets will all be waiting for you. I was shown that anything that's got red blood has a soul. That means all animals go to, they all raise to that frequency, heaven, whatever you want to call that. I still call it heaven.
Yeah.
It's just a different vibration, that's all.
Yeah.
The music is amazing there. Flowers, by the way, each have their own symphony. So if you're a gardener,
Mm.
every flower has its own music. So
Hmm.
if you have a beautiful garden in your yard,
Yeah.
if you were in that higher vibration, it would sound like an orchestra to you.
Wow. Oh, that's
And then the
amazing.
same with the artwork. They told me it's omnidimensional, high vibrational art. What the heck does that mean?
Yeah.
They said whoever hangs one of your pieces up,
Yeah.
no matter what the size, if it's an original or a print, it is a portal. It's an opening from one dimension to another. And a lot of the people, a lot of children that I've gifted this work to, they will see angels come out through the paintings and stand in front of
Wow.
them. That's
Yeah.
happened a lot.
Well, that leads me into your experience with the United Nations. I'm assuming that when that happened, you got that invitation. You'd never experienced anything like that prior.
Uh,
So, how did you make sense of it? The fact that you'd received kind of this premonition about it from an angel and then it actually came to pass.
well,
And
for
like,
me, that was the knowing.
yeah,
That was, like I said, the clincher for me. Like, oh
yeah,
boy. Okay, come on, Joanne. You've questioned this all along. You thought it was your ego. You thought it was like making up you thought it was Casper the Friendly Ghost in the woods. I mean, come on.
right.
If they're showing you X, X, X is going to happen if you go down this route and it starts happening in that order,
Yeah,
hello,
right.
pay attention, girl.
Yeah.
This is bigger than you. Get out of your ego. And the angels always told me, if ego ever gets in your way of this work, we will remove all the gifts. If you don't think that doesn't keep me humble, Jen, let me tell you that, like, I'm here. I'm, and I'm nobody special. I always tell people always say, oh, but Joanne, you have all these gifts. You know, you're an artist. Your son's this phenomenal musician. I'm like, no, I am just a vessel. I am just a vessel. This is not about Joanne. I'm even embarrassed to put my name on a painting because I feel it's creator coming through.
Mhm. Right. Yeah. Oh, I love that perspective.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's not about us. And this is about getting the message out. It's about, what do you want to be remembered for? You know, what's your legacy? How many people can you help
Yeah.
awaken? They
Right.
told me I didn't have to come back this time, that I volunteered because we're in the grand shift is what they call it. And look what's happening. It seems like the world's upside down. It's like everybody's like, oh, angry, and all the judgment and the politics is wars. So there's always going to be conflict,
Right.
always going to be conflict. And it's always based on beliefs.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
belief is stronger than your belief. I'm Catholic. Well, I'm Protestant. Well, I'm Lutheran. Well, do you see how easily? I mean, just look at how people have operated with the whole political scene.
Right.
I've seen friendships of 50 years, Jen,
Yeah.
dissolve
Right.
because of who they voted for. I
Right.
don't ever remember it being this crazy when I was a
Yeah.
kid growing up.
Right.
So, do you see where I mean? Beliefs.
Yes. Yes.
So, the work I do is clearing old beliefs that you came in here from
Right.
other lifetimes, from childhood, and replacing those with positive beliefs.
Yes.
Because those beliefs that's what creates conflict, which creates war.
I feel like it conveys such a beautiful message about what we value a lot of the times in this world versus what actually, from your own experience and your guidance from the angels, um, what you learned really matters because it's actually more about, well, I don't know how you describe it, but maybe it's more about uplifting other people, connecting with other people, being of service to others. Maybe that would be a good way to describe it.
Exactly. There are
Yeah,
so many ways that you can interact with people. Just doing a random act of kindness.
right.
You
Yeah,
know, leave a big tip when the waitress doesn't expect it. Like a
yeah,
$8 hamburger, leave $30 tip. You know, because let me tell you, she's hurting for money or she wouldn't be doing what she's doing, right?
Right.
Pay for somebody's meal, pay for somebody's groceries. There's all, and now scientifically they've proven that when you help another person, you do a random act of kindness, there is a surge of serotonin in the body that happens. And then even better, when someone witnesses you doing a kind act to
Mm.
someone else, they get the same chemical reaction. So it's pretty powerful. I love when you could prove this stuff scientifically,
Yeah.
because then
Mm.
it's no longer, we're not Fruit Loops and wind chimes, tree huggers.
Yeah.
Oh, they're just love. Cray cray.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah.
So that's
Uh,
actually leads me to an interesting question. What have you encountered a lot of skeptics as you've told your story? And
oh my
what
God.
is your approach to that? Is it just like just let them believe what they're going to believe?
And you're always going to get judged. How strong are you going to be? This is, when I tell you this is a mission of faith and miracles, I'm not kidding. If you are not, there's something about me, Jen, that most people would fold given what I've been given in my life. But for me personally, my warrior side comes out.
Right.
I put on my armor, I take my spirit, and I'm like, oh my God, I got work to do. Now I know more than ever why I'm supposed to do this work, is to reach these closed minds, these judgmental, angry, closed minds. They just need help. They just need love. And they just need a new pair of glasses,
Yeah.
you
Right.
know, to see life a little bit differently instead of following all the rule books
Do
where they
you
weren't allowed to
think
question.
that this sense of purpose that you have is what keeps you going?
Oh,
Um,
for sure.
and how would you define your purpose if someone were to ask you, and I am now?
My number one, like number one, where I am
Yeah.
passionate, is I am here to awaken humanity
Beautiful. Yeah.
because people have forgotten exactly how powerful they are, that they are truly a child of God, perfect, whole, and complete, just the way you are. You were never broken. You were taught you were broken. You were taught you came in here as a sinner. You were taught you're going to go to hell and burn. No, you are perfect and whole. Your behavior might be bad, but you are amazing. Does that make a difference? Your behavior may be questionable, but you are perfection. You always were. You were never broken. Maybe you got into the wrong group of people. Maybe you got into the wrong set of rules. I don't know what your story is, but there's nothing wrong with you. And don't ever let anybody tell you that you're crazy or imperfect or never measure up to your brother or you'll never measure up
Right.
to your sister. No, that's their belief. Let them, like my dad, bless his heart. He's long gone, but that was his truth, was that I'd be a starving artist.
Right. Yeah.
I made over six figures and more and worldwide and meeting world leaders. And could you imagine if I would have bought into his truth
Right.
that I'd be a starving artist?
Right.
No, you got to rise above this, guys.
Oh, I love that. I love that message. Well, would you like to share some of the artwork? Because it's beautiful. I can see it
Uh,
behind you. And maybe just talk about how the angels inspired the artwork. And I'd love to hear a little bit about what it's like to work with your hands and natural materials as well, and how that feels different from where you started when you were doing the historic landscapes, versus like the
Totally
work you
different.
do now. Like, what is that experience like for you?
Well, I asked them, I said, why do you want me to use what nature provides? And they said,
Yeah.
child, think about it. If someone is on the assembly line making paintbrushes, they could be in a really bad mood that day. Maybe they were fighting, maybe they embezzled that day, maybe they got hurt, beat up, and they're putting that energy into that product. You don't want
Mhm.
that touching your canvas. This is coming straight from Creator, nature. Nothing has touched that, child. Nothing. So look around you. Your garden is your toolbox. I was picking up dried daylily stems. I was picking up cactus needles from where someone sent me cactus needles from Texas. Um, there was one point where I was in a big convention center in downtown Chicago, and I was painting with a white feather. That was my only tool. And I
Wow.
created Amethyst Angel. I don't know if you could see. See, what I'm looking at, I only
Yeah.
see one wing of Raphael,
Right.
but I think your viewers will see the whole thing. But this is
Yeah.
Archangel Raphael in the green. He's one of the most famous healing angels. He's written about in the Bible, and hospitals have been named after him. And he is a powerhouse. So the stone associated with him is emerald. So when I created this one, I used, I found some raw emerald and I had a jeweler cut them specifically for his collar. So those are glued in. The angels also are big on mica. When I was shown to paint an angel in Connecticut, they showed me where to dig up mica. I don't know if you know what mica is, but it looks like it's clear, it's flat, it breaks off in layers.
Yeah.
If you crumble it, people actually use it in eyeshadow,
Yeah.
manufacturers, but it gives it
Because
the
it has like a
luminescence,
shimmer. Yeah.
shimmer, and that's what makes my art very luminescent. I use a lot of
Oh,
gold leaf. Like if you could see all the gold leaf built up in his wings. But the cool thing is, I wonder if I have one of his prints. The beautiful thing is when it goes to press, the lithographs. Okay, are you ready for this? This is a lithograph of this original painting. And these cost like $5,000 just to print. There's a lot that goes into it, but this is the lithograph of that original. I don't know if you could see the holographic foil. So the
yeah.
holographic foil goes all the way from the top of that aura all the way down to his sandals. That is a very expensive process to do. So once it's printed, I have to send it to another company and it's a long process, but there has to be a metal die made. And then this with heat, that is stamped right into that print. But isn't that amazing?
Wow. That is. Yeah, it's
So a
beautiful.
lot of my work has the holographic foil in it.
Yeah.
Um, Now see, I don't see it on my screen, but the red one,
Yeah.
this is Angel of Courage,
Yeah.
and her stone was a ruby, so I had a custom ruby cut and placed in her hair. And she is all about giving you strength and courage when you feel like, oh my God, I'm done. I can't do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
She comes to you and just lifts you up. Her stone is ruby, and she is there to call on her if you need extra strength or courage in your life.
Yeah.
Um, Now here is the lithograph for her. See the holographic
Oh,
foil?
yeah.
Even the teardrop, I don't know if you can see, there's a teardrop in the man's face.
Yeah.
I had to make a tiny little etching of that in metal for them to do that. And then there's a fairy somewhere in there by the water. Oh,
Yeah.
see the wings?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
those
it's
are holographic.
beautiful.
And then my favorite constellation, Orion.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful.
These are magical. They're
Yeah.
really magical. Like originals cost like $6,000. If anybody ever commissioned me, I just finished one
Mm-hmm.
for Gabriel. But she allowed me, thank God, she allowed me to make prints of it.
Wow.
So
Beautiful.
not all of them have holographic. A lot of them, they're printed on canvas and they're printed on the paper, like the ones that I just showed you. The canvas ones, by the time I highlight them and add all this modeling clay over it and um, oh my gosh. I embellish it with all kinds of crystals. You can't even tell it apart from an original.
Mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
now what do I do with all my originals? They're in my home right now. The 8-foot painting is in my home. All the originals are here because they showed me that in the future, there's going to be some type of healing gallery. And I don't know where this museum is going to be, Jen. I have no clue. But they said people will walk among your originals and get a healing. They think they're going there to see art, but we need more galleries like that. People are shocked when I tell them my work is not in galleries. So I think because people don't understand what omnidimensional art is, high vibrational art, they're only there for the profit to flip it.
Yeah. Right.
And even when I
Well,
come out of the Chicago Museum of Art, one of the biggest ones in the world,
yeah.
I come out of there like everything is like dark, gray. This
Yeah.
artist was going to take his life, so he did this painting.
Yeah.
We need these high vibrational spiritual museums. We
Yeah.
need those to
Yeah.
lift your spirit, not make you depressed when you come out,
Right.
you
I
know?
love that. That's a new perspective I haven't heard in terms of art
Yeah.
specifically, but to be in a place surrounded by art that is uplifting
Could you
and makes you
imagine?
feeling. I love that idea. Yeah,
Oh my
I
God.
love
I
it.
have so many things I see in my head. Like I visualize like even for like just pick any one of my angels. And they create a booth just for that where you walk into it and it's all sensory. So as you step on the pads, you're hearing healing music. You got the
Right.
music, but then you see the visual and it
Yeah.
could even be moving. And
Yeah.
then there's a scent, a smell that comes in to the room
Yeah.
that's different for each angel.
Yeah.
It's got to be all sensory.
Yeah.
But it's like, I always tell people art and music,
Hmm.
I don't care what country you take it to,
Yeah.
Siberia, where nobody speaks your language,
Yeah.
it transcends all languages.
Yeah.
People
Right.
feel music.
Yeah.
They can look at a painting and not speak your language, but they get it
Hmm.
because colors, and now it's scientifically proven, certain colors affect you more than others.
Mm.
And they
Oh,
told me specifically to use certain colors.
yeah.
So,
Wow. Oh, I love that. Oh, I hope that
yeah.
happens.
Yeah. So, I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't know
Yeah.
how it's going to happen, but I have to trust.
Right.
And then, I've been busy with the books. During COVID, I used to
Yeah.
run those conferences for 25 years, bringing all the spiritual people. Oh my God, speakers every hour. And people came in from all over the US for these. I did that for 25 years, Lightworkers Conference. And then when COVID hit, everything stopped. And then
Right.
I heard it's time to write the books. So that's when I wrote a trilogy, a Surviving Earth School series of everything I learned. And each one contains at least 22 illustrations. It's not just
Oh,
words.
wow. Do you want to
Yeah.
share the books?
Yeah. The first
Some of
one,
the illustrations inside?
yeah, this is the first one,
Yeah.
how to learn life lessons through humor. It's all about humor,
Yeah.
but there's pictures throughout this whole thing. It's fun. And then book 2 came out the very next year. And then book 3 the next year. So 3 books, 3 years. That's like crazy.
Yeah.
But that's the way the angels work. When they want something done, I just sat down and it just poured out.
Right.
I found the right printer. I found everything just was aligned perfectly and boom. Oh, and then I'm working on my next one, my 5th book, Amelia Blue. That's going to be about, it's more fantasy fun, fairy, a little girl's a fairy and getting her powers back. So that could be anywhere from teens that it would attract all the way to adults. And I did 34 new paintings for that, all in color. So that's my biggest challenge right now is finding a printer that can do that in full color, that it doesn't cost a fortune where it's
Right.
unable to sell it.
Yeah.
But I have hopes. I told Angels if this is supposed to get done,
Yeah.
we'll find. So my goal is to get that printed in 26. So yeah, I never stop,
Right.
Jen. Never.
Yeah.
No room. I got too much. I feel like, come on, you got to hurry up. There's all this stuff you got to get done.
And do you still feel that guidance from angels even now? Like
Oh, yeah.
for these books, do you
Oh
feel
my
like you're
gosh.
channeling them? Are they
For
almost
sure.
like writing through you?
Yeah,
Are are you like a vessel for them to write?
exactly. When I
Yeah.
was writing those 3 books, oh my God, I was having so much fun. I was laughing hysterically where I was crying
Yeah.
because they have a sense of humor and they
Yeah.
always want your humor to come through. Chapter 5 in book 1, everybody that reads it is hysterically. They're calling me, oh my God, I was laughing at 3 in the morning. I was crying laughing because it brought back memories of when I was a little girl in church where I'd always
Oh, yeah.
faint because we couldn't
Yeah.
eat after midnight. I was always the one that passed out, you know, and I couldn't, everything was in Latin. I had no idea what they were saying. I thought they were
Right.
saying omnibiscuit. I thought, oh, good, it's time to eat. It was like, so yeah, there's some funny stuff in there. I even channel poetry.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot lessons I learned and I bring them to light. I did a lot of research on what I learned about what the church is taught, that people never take the time to do the research. So yeah, they're loaded. They're loaded.
So, how can people find out more about your artwork and your books? What's the best way for people to reach you?
Well, if they go to my main website,
Yeah.
joannemacko.com, JOANNE, and then MACKO.com, the first opening page, it's like you get a choice of looking at all kinds of art. There's figurative, which is like the angels. I do a lot of abstracts that are still spiritual, but they're abstract. And then if you scroll down on the first opening page, you'll see my big 3 books right there. You could click on any of those to order through the website. That takes you right to my publisher, and they'll send you a book, whatever you need. They'll mail it to you. You could also get them on Amazon, the books. But for artwork, the best way to do that is just simply go to my website. Click on what you want, and then we get it to you.
Okay. Well, is there any final words you'd like to share before we finish the interview? Maybe a message from the angels that you think is the greatest message that you want people to hear.
The message that they always tell me to teach is just be yourself. Be your authentic self. Never
Hmm.
teach anybody else's work. You are your own miracle.
Ah,
Creator brought you in this world for a reason, to shine, not to take up space, but to make a difference. The world needs you now more than ever. And your gift can simply be your smile, or that you're a wonderful listener. And that's what you do, Jen. So look how many people you touch just by listening. And you're opening this stage, for more messages to hit the heart. And it's not about what do I think about it. Get out of here, get out of your headset, come down to your heart. They now have proven scientifically the energy of the heart is way more powerful than the brain. What do I feel? How do I feel about this? That's what you should ask yourself. Not what do I think about? That's ego. That's ego is telling you what do I think. Instead, how does this make me feel? Okay.
beautiful.
And the heart does not lie. The heart will never lie.
Yeah.
So go out there, do your best. You have gifts whether you realize it or not. If you need a cheerleader, I'm here for you. Jen is here for you. She's got a wealth of information on these. Look, I'm sure your stuff is archived, right?
Yes. Yeah.
You've got amazing guests.
Yeah.
But never give up. We've all been through the dark night of our soul. Who hasn't? We've all been at that place where, is what I'm doing really matter? And
Right.
whoever pokes at you the most, and we've all had that happen. There's always that one person that they know how to get right under your skin.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever pokes you the most is your greatest teacher. I thought that was a big one for me. A
Yeah.
big one for me.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so those are some gems that really gave me an aha light
Yeah.
bulb moment.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. This is an honor.